Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Maximilian. I'm managing partner at a small think tank, but a big portion of my life I worked in large corporates on a lot of things. But today I want to invite you to rethink strategy work. About 35 years ago, during my university time, I was always wondering how a few experts in the top management can determine a path to the future. And I was wondering how they can be sure it's really the right one. My assumption was they must be genius, knowing everything, anticipating the right challenges and opportunities, creating a great story out of it, and communicating that story so that all employees in the organization are enthusiastic to implement it. Later, after several years working in large organizations, I learned completely wrong assumption. It either took serious resources, doing analysis, endless interviews, workshops, debates, and often a lot of expensive external consultancy support to create a business strategy. And that was at a time where IT technology was limited and Google and Co. could not provide you with any information you are looking for. So later, in 1999, I read Henry Mintzberg, Strategy Safari. And I was surprised how many different approaches for strategy are. Mintzberg has described 10 different approaches, each of which made sense at a particular point in time, but most of them are not really meeting the requirements of today. Seriously, how can we in our so-called VUCA world be sure what the right things are, how to implement them the right way, and even how can we know what we define today is still valid tomorrow? So quite recently in a board workshop, I spoke to some C-level people, and I asked them, do you know whether your business strategy is the right one? And how do you know it is really effective? Here's the CEO's answer. Yes, we believe we have the right strategy. Somewhat. But honestly, many things are changing so quickly that when we are looking at our monthly and quarterly reports, we cannot really say whether it's effective and whether we have chosen the right initiatives. And customers, have they changed their mind? Or is it just a container ship which blocks the Suez Canal? So, having this feedback in mind, I found some good figures which confirmed these concerns. By the way, thanks to the consultancy group who published them freely on the internet. So, asking leaders around the globe regarding their strategy work, so the answers you get is the following. 2/3 believe it has become by far more difficult and cumbersome to create a strategy in current business environment. My guess is that's the reason why they're only pushing sales and doing uninspiring cost savings. So more than 2/3 would tell you the strategy cycles are shorter and more dynamic. And they don't know whether it still makes sense to do a strategy, right? Only 1/3 tells you, yes, we have been somewhat successful with our strategy. And now here comes my favorite. So while more than 80% of the C-levels are really satisfied with the strategy they created, more than 50% of their middle management has serious concerns about the same strategy. So what makes strategy work so difficult? I believe one main reason is how speed and complexity of our business environment is changing. Just think about new technologies, new ways of working, beliefs, taste, young generations, and many other factors. Another point is the understanding about current and new players. So often you cannot even see who is playing in your game field. And why the hell are they doing it, right? So both aspects cause a very clueless analysis and synthesis effort. And it could happen that as soon as you know what is relevant, it has been replaced by something completely different. So, in addition, you want to make your strategy attractive. and meaningful for your employees and customers and suppliers so that they know how to contribute or benefit from it? And finally, when you execute your great strategy, how do you honestly know what works and what doesn't? As you can see, no wonder why leaders around the globe feel more pain and more fear when doing strategy work. But why are we not able to cope with that? I mean, we are using all kinds of sophisticated, really good systems and tools to analyze the past, partly predict the future, and we try to make sense out of huge data lakes we are creating every day. Still, the key question is, how do we know what is relevant and what makes us confident to create a path to the future? A first glimpse of what could work I got when I had to create a new differentiating strategy for a large corporate division with people in more than 100 countries, and it was in a fast-growing, highly dynamic environment. Luckily, I met Michael, who is sitting in the audience. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
So he's the CEO of the think tank I'm working in. So we discussed and agreed that we need to try something completely different and innovative. That was the only way how to be successful. Our idea was inspired by a concept which has been, I would say, introduced at that time, the wisdom of the crowds. How can we engage many smart brains within an organization and even beyond, naturally contributing to a new strategy? At that time, I think it was a really strange concept, and we still wanted to try it. But as we were not really sure about it, and not brave enough, mainly me, personally, we said, okay, let's do a plan B with the management team, just in case. So we mobilized the organization to co-create a new business strategy by a large group of employees around the globe. And at the same time, we as a management team did one too. And guess what? We as a leadership team had to admit that due to their combined expertise and insights, the result of the crowd was by far better than anything we created in our small, narrow-minded expert group. So, in addition, as the crowd had participants from all over the world, after the strategy sign-off, we could start almost immediately to implement, because to a large extent, everybody knows already which direction we want to go. So, no time delay. Exactly that adventure, almost 20 years ago, was the trigger point for me to follow that idea and philosophy until today. Collective, intelligent strategy work. Imagine the following. Strategy work will be conducted as a highly participative, collective, intelligent approach, utilizing the full potential of knowledge, expertise, and insights of an organization together with customers, suppliers, and partners, and all other relevant stakeholders in the business. Wouldn't that be amazing? And I can tell you, as I've seen it several times, it is a mind-blowing experience. That really releases energy, passion, engagement across the people, and it drives creativity and creates a very strong bonding for a common purpose. So the new mindset for modern strategy work is that by the right engagement and participation, an organization is able to co-create the right level of transparency about what is or might become relevant for the future, and by doing so, it enables leaders to have a high level of confidence to make decisions for the best effect. Let me tell you a little bit about the basic principles for this new approach. First of all, for strategy creation, all individuals will act as intelligent human sensors. They contribute their ideas and insights, they evaluate all findings regarding relevance, and they co-create solutions out of it. Then, to gain implementation readiness, the strengths of diverse social and human perceptiveness and intuitive sensing of potential competence gaps or shortfalls in the organization opens a completely new dimension to transparency and visibility, what is possible. During strategy implementation, all individuals act as natural data points for early warning and feedback on progress and success. And lastly, by fostering highly frequent communication on eye level between the teams and the individuals, it helps to overcome organizational filters and obstacles, like the middle management, balances political power games on the top, and brings potential risks and hidden conflicts to a visible surface. For this modern strategy work, we created KISS, a new mindset, a collective intelligent strategy suite. KISS is a human sensoric backbone building on honest data and insights created by the organization where everybody is participating, either as contributor or sensor, and KISS is the guiding mindset and platform. A strong strategic narrative regarding purpose of the organization and an attractive desired state of the future are, of course, the guiding principle for the overall approach. Then the strategy creation and implementation is happening in fast iterations, so that ongoing changes and adaptations are all done in an integrated way. Engagement and participation is rather driven by a gamification approach. That means it's by far better than a pure rational input and report collection, where people are bored to fill out, the traffic lights and all the other things. So individuals and teams enjoy to be part of something bigger than just the operational work. And they have a clear idea how they can contribute. This collective interaction, feedback, and high-performance mindset is perceived by all people who are participating as a joyful work environment and create happiness as a driver for organizational health on the one side and sustainable success on the other side. So how can organizations do that? For each collective interaction, as part of the strategic journey, there are methods and tools which activate and enable the collective intelligence. And they channel all their activities towards this desired state of the future. Here are a few examples. So, information and idea gathering, for example, is conducted mainly by crowdsourcing and co-creation across the entire ecosystem, together with everybody who's out there. Co-evaluation and positioning of potential solutions regarding relevance, attractiveness, and feasibility are jointly done by crowd voting and information markets. And as real-time transparency is core driver for immediate insights and an anchor point for instant and proactive engagement and contribution, all individuals know at any point in time what the current progress is, where potential risks are, and where disruptions for the success might occur. All these activities will be supported by artificial intelligence-based recommendations. So this is to accelerate decision-making and steering. It is a symbiosis of human sensors and artificial intelligence-based technology. And overall, that empowers employees and teams to provide instant solution proposals for adaptation and correction. With that approach, we further, I would say, increase the computing power of an organization. And we can overcome bottlenecks caused by formal steering bodies, processes, and functional silos, as well as standard IT routines. Nevertheless, still, all key decisions on bigger changes for the future are still getting escalated to the top management. The only difference is they're coming together with deep insights and recommendations based on the confidence level of the organization, what to do and how to decide. This approach positions modern strategy work as a natural and integral part of daily operations and enables organizations to cope with future challenges in a very dynamic way. So you can compare it almost with an autonomous, collective, intelligent drive for organizations. Let me quickly summarize how I see the big changes for strategy work in the future. The first one is strategy Taylorism is over. The fact that top management is creating a strategy and middle management and their teams is executing it is over. Instead, participation of employees, stakeholders across the entire organization and beyond has become a success factor. Second part, deep dive analysis of information by specialized siloed experts is no longer an advantage, nor is a differentiating factor. Instead, it will be the collective intelligence of an organization combined with AI and the technology behind it. The third point is, strategy cycles of 3, 5, or more years will be replaced by an ongoing strategy renewal. That means from a fixed cycle, we are moving to an infinite strategy approach. And last but not least, to visualize and measure the impact of strategy execution, it will no longer be an artificially created standard ERP report. Instead, it will be a symbiosis of human sensors with AI tools to create transparency on progress, to provide early warning on deviations, and recommend appropriate solutions. I personally strongly believe the classical strategy work is completely outdated. The new strategy work with a KISS mindset will be faster, more up-to-date, less expensive, and it's by far more fun for everybody contributing. So the door is open for brave organizations which trust the potential of collective intelligence in combination with smart technology for a better future. Thank you.